Hello, here's my vlog this day to be done quite elegantly with refinement and class. Because I got a haircut yesterday. My mama paid for it. Yeah, I applied for a bunch of jobs day before yesterday, but I didn't get any sign of life from any of them, so. But that was even when my mom was like, stop applying for jobs. I'm not gonna get a job if I just apply to any old job. I need to be like directed and shoot for education related jobs. And I need the government, before Trump takes all the money away from the government, to help me pay for my education so that I can get hired as like educator. But I have to, so I have a meeting with the Department of Vocational Rehabilitation, Representative K, on the 4th at like 9, Google Meets. I have to come up with 3 different sources of education to take the 2 classes for pre-education, preschool, under 5 education. It's worth like $700 over at Front Range Community College. You have to, it's online, but you still have to do it like regimental, where it starts on a certain day and all that. So, but I have to offer 3, provide 2 other schools. So I try to do that as quick as I can. I'm trying to do all kinds of different things. Like yesterday, I got an email from Avid for Fitness. I got a job, and it's full time. So that's kind of what made it a little bit difficult for me to get some of these other jobs, because I was shown interest from like kids, people. I'm seen by society as somebody who needs to be around the kids, not old people. And I think I agree with you. But uh-oh, what was I saying? Oh yeah, my Avid for adventure job. I got a job as like, I guess I teach them how to jump at the bike park, but I don't have to do that in Boulder. I can do that at I'm going to be working at Golden in the beginning, and I looked at the Golden bike park and I didn't see any big ass jumps, so I'm good there. I didn't even know, I knew that I have like a downhill like a full suspension bike, but I didn't know anything else apart from that. My friend gave it to me years ago, my friend Mike. And so I went into the store yesterday. Oh yeah, and so for the advert, I had to like sign up. It's all this technology stuff. I had to sign up for this one thing and then this other thing, like the payroll website and then the like information website, or like the humanity. I don't even know what that is. These 2 apps, but then I had to do the payroll one, which was NetChecks. And in order to get into NetChecks, I had to have a business email. But in order to have the business email activated, I had to have a website. The website had to be connected, and so that's what I need to do next. Is I need to figure out how to connect the website to my email, and it's a business email. I had to pay $75 a year for. Yeah, I wrote her back. I'm like, yo, this might take a few days. She's like, oh, don't worry about it. It doesn't need to be ready until April. But I was like, damn. But anyway, I wanted to get a business email anyway, because that means that'll make my email like Kyle Pounds at kylepounds.com. Sounds way better. And I can put it right there on my website on the top, like email me whenever, whoever you are, kylepounds at kylepounds.com. Sounds way better. And then it's crypted, and you can have all sorts of data on there, so I could email people, Google Earth things or whatever, I don't know. But so I need to figure that out. And then I also need to figure out my paperwork and my bills. I was looking through my accounting for myself, and this fucking company called Info Tracker. Like a year ago, I think I did like a God, that makes me so mad. I did like a week trial at Info Tracker. They're like, but you give us your credit card. And I was like, yeah, okay, yeah. But then you cancel, and then it cancels, and you get your free week. And I was gonna do it just to do like net checks, I think on myself a year ago, just to see like how, if there's a problem like hiring me or whatever. And then those fuckers, they turn it back on, and I got charged $250 over the last 10 months. $25 a month for 10 months. For nothing. And I don't think it even worked. It's a scam. And then when I did it, it didn't give any information. It just spun around. I'm like, oh great, I got scammed. And then I got scammed out of the money. So for the very first time in my life, I did a Better Business Bureau complaint. And I complained about them, and I asked for a full refund. And I looked around, I Googled them, and apparently that's what they're doing. Like, it's literally just a scam. Like, if you want to use somebody who's been verified, don't use net checks. Because, yeah, all these people are like, yeah, and then they turned it back on. And they robbed me. So, yeah. So, anyways, I found that. And that was going to get taken out in 2 days, day after tomorrow. So, I managed to save myself $25. And then there's this other 110 or 60 bucks that I wanted to know came from. So I'm going to go into the bank and talk to them. I kind of slept in. It's almost 10. It's 9:57. Because I was working here trying to figure this stuff out until really late. Until like 1 in the morning. But, and my back was hurting because I was doing it sitting up. And if I sit in a chair for too long, like I can't get a desk job because my back will hurt. So I need to exercise so bad. But, yeah, I need to do that. And then, the accounting, I'm still not done. I need to, like, memorize exactly where and write on my calendar, like, what day everything comes out, and then from where, like my checking or my credit card. Make sure, and I think I don't have enough money in my checking because I borrowed 200 bucks to cover that, but, I don't have enough to pay for the rest of the things. So I need to look at that again and then pay it off manually with my credit card until Tuesday when my money for my loan, my HELOC loan becomes available, and then I can transfer a bunch over to my bank and pretend that I have money. And then my monthly bill on that is going to be less than my last one. So, so yesterday I went over to I brought my mountain bike. I need to get my mountain bike working. I have an old 30-year-old Specialized stump jumper, and the rear that my friend Mike gave to me, and my rear freewheel like snapped. It was just went like, and took it in. They're like, oh yeah, we probably need to replace the thing on the inside, but all said it'll be like, it's like 75 for the thing and 25 for the works. It was like 100 bucks. Maybe you should just go to the secondhand bike shop that I didn't even know existed. I'd never been there, called like Boulder Community Cycles, or maybe they moved there for that other spot. But yeah, I got a wheel there for $90, a whole wheel. So now my mountain bike, my old 30-year-old mountain bike, is back in business. But my friend gave me this full suspension, so I went in the basement and I grabbed it out and looked at it, and it is a Specialized Enduro M5, and I think it's maybe like 15 years old or something. But those bikes are like top of the line, expensive bikes, and so I didn't even know what the hell an enduro was. I'm like, is that the name of the like the model? And no, that's the type of bike. Like mountain bikes, you have cross country, trail, enduro, and downhill. There's like 4 distinct kind of bikes. So yeah, I didn't even know there was a difference between, like up until yesterday, I thought it was regular mountain bike, downhill mountain bike, but no, you have 2 in between. So I guess regular mountain bike would be trail mountain bike, and then you have cross country, which is kind of like a gravel bike with mountain bike handlebars, and then you have the mountain bike, which is called a trail bike, and then you have the enduro bike, which is mostly a downhill bike, but that you can ride uphill too. And then you have the downhill bike that's only for downhill. So yeah, I have the bike that's perfect for a bike park, the enduro bike. For those jumps, has like 6 inches of travel and looks like it's in good shape. So I'm gonna take it into that bike shop in an hour when they open at 11. Okay, I have my credit card I can spend money with, and then I can transfer the money on Tuesday. I went to the bank and talked to the guy yesterday, Jason. And so I can get today. I think I'm gonna go in and just see if, because it needs a bunch of parts. Like I have a frame, the shocks, the headset, stem, bottom bracket, part of the disc brake. Yeah, you know, Those bikes are like 3,000, 3,500 bucks. I think base model. The expensive ones are like over 10,000. So this will give me a big discount, even if I have to spend like 1,000 or whatever. Because I'm gonna have to buy a lot. So hopefully a lot that I buy can come from there. They can have it. And then I don't know like those bikes discs and stuff, and so I think I'll just pay somebody else to put it together the first time. Yeah, and then I'll be, as soon as this snow dries, I can go down and practice those jumps and ride around on the bike park and stuff. And that bike jumps with that type of bike, so that's exciting. As far as hunting for jobs, I have people helping me who are associated with programs, and they can help me, I guess, do what I need to do to get a job. I was hoping with these government programs they could just hook me up with a job. You know, like, aren't there companies that, you would think that there would be companies that are like, okay, like maybe they get a special bonus from the government or something. They're like, yeah, we'll hire those people who are like in the Goldilocks zone where they don't get hired for anything. One reason that I'm not getting hired for anything is because I'm not seen as somebody who some people would want to support. I think somebody who gets hired when they apply to a job, or if they apply to 78 jobs like I did, just on Indeed, that kind of, it means that they're the types of person who somebody wants to help, like they're a good person or whatever. And my idea is that you would be locked into that, you know, that echelon of quality people who could get the job when you apply to it, because of my website. Because you look at the depth of the website and you see how much, I mean, even if you don't like the design, like you don't understand the design, you at least see the intention and how much work it took, and then you can decide that it was a good person because of that. And I was thinking that, you know, you could decide it's a good person from the design of it, from the usefulness to you, from all that it has. But the problem is, you know, and I was like, from the beginning, I was like, yeah, you can disseminate information if you condense it. But the problem is, I mean, yeah, that works for you and stuff, or somebody thinks exactly like you, but you can't expect this crazy ass world to think like you. I mean, if you look at the CIA World Factbook page, they thought it was perfectly juicy idea to make the words this big. Like, you have to scroll down like people can barely read or see, and that's their common denominator, you know. And if you shoot for the stars in the future with speed readers, you're just like a curiosity or you're not even that. You're just a freak. Because like I only get attention on the site when I tell a whole bunch of people about it, and then the attention goes away. So it doesn't catch on. I have an idea. It's my test. This thing is like always open on my computer and my cell phone. I need to pass this test. That's nuclear, 1950s, 47. I need to pass this test forward and backward. So forward meaning forward, hit the end, and then go backward. And you do all 150. And then I'm certified with England. Then what I'm going to do, I think I want to make a video, maybe today, t-shirts. So now it's time to make t-shirts. I think they sell them for like 10 bucks or something at Marshall's. I might go down there. I was going to ask my mom if she had one. But I'm going to get white t-shirts and markers, like Sharpie markers, and make a design. Like, I was going to last night, but I couldn't find any t-shirts. I thought I had some extras, so I just need like a white t-shirt. And I was gonna make like straight lines down like this, and then have the lines have like a circle in. I wanted to do circles and squares to make it like Rome. Rome is into circles and squares, like the floor of the Parthenon, of the Pantheon. So, and then inside of the circles and squares would have certain meanings for certain things. And so you'd have like a square and a circle here, one here that means something. And so then as soon as I'm going to ask money from foundations as soon as I pass this test, because then I've taken the 3 tests. I've done a book review, done random number generator, and then this test. Yeah, and see what they think, you know, and then come back Ask him over and over again as I take more and more of these tests. People, as long as people aren't paying attention to my idea of memorizing these for society, for like having, grading yourself on a general, like we're all still in school and we're never out of school. Yeah, nobody's going to be interested in my site until people start agreeing with me that standardized tests for history is a good idea. People don't even think it's a good idea. If they did, they'd be taking this test. Or they would be taking a test, but none of these intelligence tests even have that much to do with history, and they're too easy anyway. So this is like more along the lines of what we could do. So, yeah, I have just so much stuff to do that I haven't finished. The accounting for myself and the setting up this business email. And then yesterday I also backed up my my timeline because I just did an update to my external hard drive, and I didn't do it to my other externals. So I'm going to do it to my other externals also right now, just so I don't forget. And then I figured out why, this is another thing I wanted to talk about. This is like Twilight Zone-y thing about my website. The other Twilight Zone-y thing. One Twilight Zone-y thing, and it is Twilight Zone-y, dude. It's full-blown Black Mirror experience. Like, I live the Black Mirror every day. One of them is that nobody acknowledges I have a website. And nobody, like 99% chance you're going to have a negative reaction to the website. Instead of like, you're going to be like, instead of like, oh. Like I made my mom's friend mad the other day because I just wanted to show her the test. Like, look at my fun test. And she's like, I don't do this. Okay, all right. But the other thing that's super Twilight Zone-y, that's even more Twilight Zone-y than that, probably like 5 times more, something that really freaks me out. So you know how they say that you can't trust your memory? Well, yeah, my memory is real good. Like, I'm pretty sure that interactions I've had with people in the past and stuff, I'm pretty sure I memorized that, like, to a word. But, I mean, you never know if you're right or not. That's the problem. But I'm pretty sure I memorized it to the word, to everything. Like, my memory's perfect. My memory is not quite as perfect when it comes to my website. But it's interesting how I get the tricks played on me by my brain, like, all the time. And it's showed to me. I'm all constantly shown. And what happens is I halfway build something on my website. Like I build things on my website in fits and starts. I can't build anything on my website all at once because it's too big. Like if you're going to download, which nobody has ever mentioned anything, which is fucking weird, but if you're going to download Rome, I have Rome rebuilt on Google Earth. Do you know what that means? Like when I say to people, they're like, I'm like, yeah, I have Rome be rebuilt on Google Earth. And they're like, I say that like in job interviews and stuff. And they're like, so like maybe I should be clear what I'm saying. Like I have Rome rebuilt on Google Earth. Like to the building. That's what I say. To the building, to the furniture. That means you can travel around Google Earth like you can Boulder. It's a 3-dimensional model. So all I have to do is, and I even made the screen capture videos of walking around. You can be inside the buildings, outside the buildings, look around. I rebuilt Rome. Nobody cares. But the thing is, I couldn't rebuild Rome all at once. I couldn't, it was like, if you were to work 18 hours a day, probably like a year. I mean, we're rebuilding Rome. And it's not, and this is Rome in 211, but I did Rome for the beginning of Rome, Romulan Rome, and I did all the different Romes. I'm very far through all the different Rome. Like, for every single year I'm going to do it. I even have the downloads and the links for the downloads ready to go. To download every single year. It's the only thing is it's not like built yet. But because Rome's interesting the way it grew and shrank. But so that's one of the things I had to build in like, half dozen different like missions. Like I go, like I told you, it was like a year. So that was like a dozen. So it's like I do like 3 months and then I'd wait a year, 3 months, wait a year, 3 months, wait a year, 3 months. So like 4 segments of 3 months at 18 hours a day. That's my Rome. And that's like with everything. My timeline, like I just finished up my template to the timeline, like all the books, everything. right? All the other Google Earth stuff I did. And so here's what happens with my brain. I go and I build something, right? And there's like for a month or something, I bust my ass and I build it. And the whole time I'm building it, I'm thinking, okay, what am I gonna do? And then I build some things, and then I'm like, okay, I'm tired. I need to do this other thing. So then I back out. And so then I back out, not having finished, like finished enough, but not all of it the same level. And so then as time goes on, my brain edits the past, and it starts going, okay, yeah, I wasn't working on that. I actually did it. And it happens every time. And so it happened last night too, and I have to do these adjustments. Like I've done these adjustments like a dozen fucking times at least in my head. Like where I'm sitting around and I'm like, okay, like having to rearrange history in my head from what I thought was history. And like this, so last night when I did it again, I was like, oh, here we go again. Like now I'm used to it. So, and I totally, yeah, and I wasn't freaked out or like feeling I was in the Twilight Zone or like, did I just get fucked over or anything like that. I was like, no, this is just how it is. So what happened was the project that I did before freaking out and trying to get a job and get in shape, this is until like August. And then I tried to get in shape for a little bit, but I was having physical problems. It turns out there was nothing wrong with me physically. It's just because I got a couple of blood tests and showed I had high potassium, but then the other one was good. So I just am unhealthy. But I had a relapse into my timeline though, until I finished the timeline template. And so this was like 6 months ago. And so now I'm like, okay, because I was frustrated. I was like, because I eventually wanted to put the menus for my books onto my site. And I have 6 different versions of the Mahabharata, right? And I'm looking around, and I tried to do the first book, even until a couple days ago, I tried to get it started. And it just doesn't work. The menu for the Education of Cyrus by Xenophon, like if I paste it, it crashes the computer. If I paste a tiny little table, like one tiny little table, it crashes the computer. So I have to like re-engineer, back engineer. I might have to individually copy out the little vertical tables from the main table and paste them manually into the table, like manually rebuild a lot of it. Because there's just some corruption that I guess has to do with ChatGPT, because I only experience it with ChatGPT. But it's straight up, it won't work. And so I wanted to get through that book, but there's and I hope that not all the books are like that or I'm fucked. I hope it's just this one. But I was like, where the hell is Mahabharata? Because I remember Mahabharata was the biggest book that I did that with. I don't even know how many pages it is. It's like 13,000 pages or something. I could actually tell you. I could actually look it up right now and tell you how many pages it is. But let's see if nobody went to my site in the last like 4 days. And nobody really, and only like 35 people have been to my education site in the last like 4 months, 6 months. And that's the site that's got all the juiciness to it. Was I going to show something? Oh man, I'm losing my train of thought. I smoked weed yesterday because I have this like reefer plant that like is sticky. Like when you touch the buds, like my fingers get sticky. And I'm like, ooh, that thing got some juice to it. And I broke down like day before yesterday. I took a little stalk off. Like it looked like it still has the little the furs are still straight, and it doesn't even look like the little crespules, the little crystals are even like there. You have to like first they appear and they're clear, and then you have to wait until they become milky white, and then you cut it and you smoke it. And if you wait long enough for the milky white to turn orange, that means it's CBD, and it won't get you as high, but it'll get you relaxed. So I took some off, and then I got high, and then yesterday I chopped off the top bud because it was the most developed, maybe because it was the closest to the light. It was even a little curled in. I saw maybe a little bit of orange hairs inside. I was like, fuck it. So I threw it in the dryer, and then I smoked it mainly wet. But then I hung out at my mom's house. I went to, my mom paid for a haircut, so I went to the haircut at like 4 something, 5:25, and then I went to my mom's house and for dinner, and we hung out, and then I came back here. But Oh shit, did I just lose my train of thought? Oh no. Anyway, so, oh yeah, let me talk about what happened with my brain though. So I came back and I was just like, I have to know what's going on, because I was looking for the page, because in my head, right? In my head, what I remembered, because what I remembered and what really happened were different. And this happens all the time. I always think I'm way more developed than I actually am. And I've caught myself talking to people. I'm like, yeah, I'm almost done. It's like, that was like 5 years ago and I said that. But yeah, I thought that I have ChatGTP reduced Mahabharata down to like 50 words a chapter or 100 words a chapter, because there's 6 sizes. There's the one size that's just the number of the chapter. The number of the chapter and the pages and how long it takes to get through it at 50 words a page, 250 words per page. That's the first level. The final 6th level is the actual size of the real Mahabharata, but there's 4 menu sizes I made in between. 10 words per chapter, 20 words, I think 10 words per chapter, 50 words per chapter, 100 words per chapter, 250 words per chapter. So I cut them all down to, all the chapters down to a page, which chopped it down to maybe like half. And then what I found with ChatGTP is, if you're going to have ChatGTP condense a chapter or something, condense words, it can't do it like perfectly, like to the exact words, because you have to, adjust it to what makes sense to what you're reading, And this having ChatGTP do this for me made it save me so much time. Because I had to do like most, not all, but before it fucking occurred to me, I had to do most of Livy manually, and boy does it give you a headache. I think it's a little bit better. You do a better job than ChatGTP. A smart human will do a better job than ChatGTP, but it's not so much better that it makes it that much of a difference. So it's way better idea to just have ChatGTP do it. But, so I had ChatGTP condense them down to those. And what I found with ChatGTP is, because you can't do it exactly, that it's not really all that distinct if you're going to ask it to make it 10 words per chapter versus 20, versus double. It really only makes like a noticeable difference with everything visually if you do it 5 times. So you do 10 words and then the next one's 50, 5 times more. And then ideally the next one would be like a page, like 250. But for some reason with the Mahabharata, I decided to get way crazy anal with it. And I did 4. I did like 10, 50, 100, 250. Yeah. But just because it's the Mahabharata, But what I remembered is that I built it all, and then I had ChatGTP put it into a table, because that's what I was doing. So I remembered that I did that with all of them. I didn't do that with all of them. I only did that with some of them. So where I would build it into a table. Like one of them, it was even built into the 5 columns across table with the little tables inside colored. ChatGTP managed to do that one time, and then it was like, woo, that was too much. I can't do that again. So it was only able to do like 20 down, but it would make them all their proper background colors, proper border, proper font for the number text, proper font for the text inside. And then the number text had its tag, so you link to it, and then it also had a link to link somewhere else. So you could build like, what was that, like 6 or 7, 8 different things all at once for like 20. So what was that, like 8 times 20? Like that's about as much as ChatGPT's brain works, which is fucking good enough to save you time now. And imagine when they get smarter in the future. When you get GAI, where it's like your personal assistant, and I can just be like, hey, ChatGPT, I could be like, look at this big ass table right here. Look how complicated that is. I could paste that in, the code for that into ChatGTP, and I could say, build something just like that for this next thing, and I would just plug in the same parameters as this did, and it just spits it out the same. Like when it can do that, oh God. I'm actually positioned pretty good as somebody who could know how to work ChatGTP to its maximum. I know how to, I have a pretty good gauge of how quickly it's getting smarter and what it can do now, and ideas. So yeah, It's like, it's cool because then I don't need to hire people. I can just have my chat GTP. But anyway, what I did was the page wasn't there. Like the Mahabharata menus, because that's how I saved it. Like the menu, and then you look at the menu and you have all, and I'm like, where is it? Is it on my computer? Is it on my external? Is it up on the server? It is nowhere. And I'm like, well, I remember building it. So I looked at it, was like, is it any, like, you know, it wasn't even in like on a list on my site. So I was like, okay, well, let's go back and look at my notes. So I went back and I looked at my notes, and I'm looking for my video camera. It's like I'm like looking at it. Yeah, I go back and I look at my notes, and I what I did was I copied all of my notes. Here, let me show how I did this. Gotta go to documents, group by kind, notes. Yeah. So I call this folder here notes, and group by name. So those are my notes of all the books that I had and some other stuff that I have. And so I found Mahabharata, which is this one. And so this is what ChatGTP wrote for me. Look how big this is. Look how little the scroll is. Look, check this out. Mahabharata. So this is for the big size, and that's for the next smaller size. So I have two different sizes here. And that's why I couldn't build it in, because I had to copy those out and separate them. And here's for one size, but I mean, look. ChatGTP built all that. And here's the Mahabharata that has the cut down to just 10 words. And so what I thought was that in my head, like I was convinced that I had copied it from here, plugged it into ChatGTP, because the next step would be, the first step was have ChatGTP condense it down to these different ones. Next step was you copy it from here, put it in a ChatGTP and say, hey, put it into my table, and you describe how you want your tables to look, and it straight up builds it, which makes it way faster because it makes it so you don't have to drag and drop all these separate things, and then you have to add the font, which is the most time-consuming thing, to all the different words. It does it yourself, and so it's like, holy shit. Yeah, dude, I was like, whoa. Yeah, so I thought in my head that I had done that second part, where I built the table, and that the table was all like up on my website called Mahabharata menu, ready to be copy and pasted. And it's like, I was convinced that I'd done it with all of them. And then I had to look, and I had to look back, and then I had the same familiar thought, like, oh my God, what happened? Did it get deleted? And then I had to backtrack and go, oh, I never built it. Like that whole idea, oh, I built my all the menus of all the history books, like with ChatGTP, building it on the table. I'm like, and just because I did it on a few, or maybe a lot towards the end, all of a sudden, 6 months later, I was like, yeah, I did it on all of them. And then I had to relearn, I only did it on a few, and then I'm like, oh wow, so I'm way farther behind than I actually was. And so that's kind of one reason why I'm involved in too many projects and never finishing my site, because I'm always, like when I look at the rest of my site in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm almost done with that one. There's like 2 weeks left. That one, 2 weeks. I'm like 2 weeks left with all of them. Because in my head, I was thinking about what I planned on doing, and then that turned into I did it. Yeah, and it happened. It's an interesting thing to experience in my own head, to have to recalibrate and like create a past from scratch that I didn't think existed. Yeah. So anyways, that's probably another one of these like scam calls. You can't answer calls anymore, which is fine. But yeah, somebody was interested in living here yesterday, and then he called me, and I talked to the dude today, but I don't think he's all that interested, because he like hung up just as soon. I'm like, he's like, yeah, he's this Italian guy, thick Italian accent. He's like, so you have animals, two ferrets? And I'm like, let's say how a French guy talks. How do the Italian guys talk? You have two ferrets. And I'm like, yeah, they're. Oh, he's like, oh, so you have two ferrets, they walk freely. And I'm like, yeah, my ferrets walk freely all the time. They're never in a cage. He's like, okay, I call you tomorrow. Look at the place. Yeah. I also was like, yeah, my birds are really loud. But but anyway, to be honest, I'm not so sure it'll work because he didn't really follow my the rules that I need, because I've met too many people who I don't get along with, and so I've kind of developed in my old age, 51. There's certain like red flags for me that just don't. So like, and it's also like a cultural thing. Like you can expect somebody from Italy to act like that, but like I was like, he's like, yeah, so when can I come over to look? And I'm like, whoa, hold on, cowboy. I was like, let's talk first. And he's like, oh yeah, so I install tiles with my friend. So I'm here to stay. And I'm like, okay. And then he's like, okay, I gotta go. And I'm like, okay. So in the end, I don't know anything about the dude. And that's kind of like a red flag. Like if I'm like, hang on, let's go, like, what's going on? What's your story? It's like, okay, well, like, how long have you been here? Why did you come here? What's your industry? Like, how long are you going to stay and why are you planning to stay? Instead of just like, I want to come over and look at the place. It's like, I don't know. People like that kind of strike me as people who you can't get a straight answer out of. And like, if you're not going to get the straight answer out of the first time, you're never going to get a straight answer. And then they're going to be controlling the conversation and talking fast and getting upset, high on coffee. And yeah, people like that end up hating my guts. All of my roommates are like that. So like, if somebody calls and they're interviewing to like be a roommate or something, and they actually tell you their life story, but in like 30 seconds or a whole minute, but they actually give you their story, then that's somebody you want to hook up with. That's somebody who like you literally know nothing about, and you just talk to them, and they were talking really fast and over you and like loud, and it's like okay. But because I was married, my ex-wife's Italian, and my kids are Italian. No, her kids are Italian. And yeah, she's a Latina. She's from Chile, and she is like real hard to get a straight answer out of. Like I've been there, done that. I know what that's about. So but it's just like a character flaw. It's not something. It's not a deal breaker, because there's lots of other stuff about her that I like a lot. She's super sweet, doesn't want to make enemies with anybody, happy-go-lucky person. It's just hard to get a straight answer out of her. That's not that big of a deal. Just because when I start pulling teeth, prying her and getting all like interrogating her, she doesn't get mad at me. She just kind of has trouble figuring out how to give me the answer in the way that she wants to give me the answer, sort of a deal. Anyway, she said she wants to visit me in December, so that's cool. I'd have to pay for the food, so I'd have to have a job. But anyway, so that's my vlog. I'm gonna go and I have a lot of random things to do today. I have to go and ask the bank where this phantom bill came from. I have to go to the bike shop. I'm gonna go to the bike shop first because I'm the most excited about that. And then my mom's gonna come over today and help me with organizing my paperwork. So because I was going to do it myself, but I was like going to throw stuff away, and she doesn't like me throwing things away, so I was like, so that's cool. Plus it's stressful. I don't like doing that particular thing alone. So those are things I have going on. Like there's the email, phantom bill over there at the bank, bicycle, files, but I also have to get in shape. So if I don't do any of those other things, and all I do is get in shape today, that's a good day. Like I want to do squats. I have to be able to do squats, dude. Like front overhead hand, front squats, front dumbbell squats to overhead press. Like yeah. And I was thinking about maybe cutting more weed, because like I got baked. I was baked yesterday. On that weed, and so I don't know, maybe I should just go ahead and smoke that plant because it got me high, and Let me tell you, this is the truth, dude. And I never heard anybody else say this, so I'm interested why, but anybody else has the idea, but dude, smoking weed that's grown in your house is different, man. Like I'm like, I think mystically about weed, like, you know, like high, get you high, maybe have some kind of like spirit inside the weed, like there's something different, because it grew up in your house, has your energy. Because the weed that I smoke in my house, it's better. It's just plain better. Like it's more lively. Like, yeah, the weed yesterday sucked the life out of me, and I was like, ugh. But weed, like the older weed that's cured that you get at the store, it's like lethargic. But the weed that you grow in your house, it's like the first time you ever smoked weed. It's like a whole nother level of weed. And I don't think it's the strain. These are just regular old weed strains, but it's because it's still fresh. You're smoking something that was just live, maybe, or you're smoking something that I was thinking maybe grew up in your house with your energy. Because I was smoking last night and I was just like I was getting excited about stuff and looking at the world in a new way. Whereas the other weed at the store, you smoke it and it kind of numbs you down, and it makes you be able to just sit there and like do copy paste forever while your body's dying in pain from sitting for so long. Like there's been hundreds of times where I've been sitting there, and because I'm so high, I'm just sitting there copying and pasting, and my body's like all this pain in a certain area, and there's like this thought in my head, well, you just done it. You just did it again, dumbass. You just brought your body down another level. You just killed like 50 muscle fibers or something like that. Good job for sitting through that. All you had to do is stand up and walk around, and you would have saved them. It's kind of what it feels like. But I can do that because I'm here on the weed, right? But with this new weed, I can like think a little bit better, and I get a little bit more excited to do stuff. So, yeah, and it's like maybe I should cut it, because it's not like I'm losing that much weed. Cutting it now as opposed to if I wait a month and I let the plant get bigger and then I cut that weed, because like I don't want to be smoking in a month anyway. Like I have to quit. I'm trying to get in shape. So if I want to smoke weed now, because I'm still habituated to it from when I was smoking it, you know, doing all this copying and pasting, maybe I should go ahead and smoke it, because I have it. It's not as good as it would be in a month, but it's good enough. So here, I'll show you. Maybe let's see what you think. Shut up! You're gonna cause me to never get a roommate, birds. Okay, so this is the one I was thinking about grabbing. You see? You see how it's curly? It curled in, and it's even a little bit like orange. Like that's debatably ready. You know, that's debatably ready to chop right now and get high off of. And if I chopped it and I dried it in like maybe a half hour, let it sit in there in a half hour or 10 minutes. Sometimes I let it sit in the dryer for 5 minutes. I'm like, oh, I fucking will smoke some. But yesterday I was gonna say I had the stalk at the top, and I went and hung up. I got the haircut hung up with my mom. Came back. By the time I came back, it was dry enough, and I was smoking it. Yeah, I'm getting baked. So it's like I quit smoking weed, but that rule can get postponed for a few days just while I get going, because I have to do some cleaning in my house. I'm gonna clean the floor just while I get my stuff together, you know, because I'm trying to take my time. So yeah, fuck it. I think I just talked myself into smoking weed. Hey rascal. Hey, rascal. Okay, so talk to you tomorrow.